Hi friends and fellow Earth Angels, it's Gladys, and welcome back to another one of my weekly Sunday card readings. And this spread will start by covering January 24th through the 30th, or whenever you're guided to watch, as I always intend these to be timeless readings, meaning whenever this video pops up in your feed, no matter what day of the week, what the date is, the messages are meant for you at that time. So welcome. We are finishing out the first month of 2021. And I am so glad to share that I have officially declared my word for the year. I like to take January, kind of in December, start bouncing around with words, and I start experiencing and feeling them out. And then what happens is when a word kind of falls into my solar plexus, into my heart, I ask the divine to show me the support of this declaration. And then I start seeing the word over and over and over again in many different facets, in many different forms. And I'm like, okay, this is my word. And so I was really mindful not to choose a vibration based on lack. Like, I know I've talked about discipline being a word, and that was coming up from me not feeling like I was doing enough in certain areas of my life, and I was kind of just not feeling right. So, the word I'm declaring for 2021 is passion. How fun does that word sound? Now, remember, when you declare a word, it's like you're declaring the experiences of all facets. So I talked about last year how I really all was surrender, and all I could do was surrender in a lot of ways, and leaving it up to the divine. It was a very powerful spiritual experience. So if you have chosen a word for the year, I would love to know what it is. If you haven't, that's fine too. There's no pressure. We've all got stuff we're working towards. So, but if you have declared a word, if you are working on a word, I would love to know. If you could put it in the comments below. You don't really have to explain why. You can if you want to. But I would love to know what the energy of the channel is. I would love to know. I know there are many of you that show up every single week to receive guidance and inspiration, and I love that, and I so appreciate that. But I would love a little more interaction, just to kind of know what you're enjoying, what you want to know more of, and I can really kind of get a feel for that based on your words and what you're being pulled to. If you have a story with the word, I would love to hear that. So feel free. If not, that is fine too. You're also always included in the space and the energy. So that being said, one of my passions is channeling messages with the angels. So this week, once again, I am going to use the Archangel Oracle deck, and I'm going to pull an angel for the week. And then I'm going to pull from the Power of Surrender cards. The intention is what that angel is supporting you with this week in surrendering and releasing, that will assist you on your spiritual journey of spiritual growth. And then I'm going to pick an angel therapy card. And this deck is great for the angel giving you some therapeutic guidance as to maybe some action or things you can do to support your healing, support your spiritual growth. And then I'll pull a crystal angels card, and these are healing messages. So the intention will be what the angel feels that the word nourishment comes up. What nourishing message can support your healing or healing message? And then finally, what prayer can carry you through the week with the Wild Offering Oracle. That is my intention. We'll see how things unfold. So let's open up space, inviting in all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, the Divine Mother and Father, and all their holy beings of light that would like to assist with this guidance for you this week. And I'm going to ask that the messages that come through be for your best and highest good, and the best and highest good of all concerned. All right, archangels. What archangel would like to come forward this week January 24th to the 30th. There we go. I was kind of hoping one would fly out. All right, let's see here. So, let's begin. Yay, Archangel Uriel. The card says, you know what to do. It says, trust your inner knowledge and act upon it without delay. So interesting. So before I opened space and I was preparing the space, I noticed this glare from the candle, and there's really nothing I can do about it. But when I was practicing the lighting to see where the lighting ring was to make sure that it wasn't going to shine on the cards, Archangel Uriel was the card that I just kind of pulled over and put over there. So Uriel, and I kind of took the message for me, and thanking Uriel for, I believe the card was clear cognizance, which is like a knowing, a deep like knowing, that intellect part. So I just find it interesting that Archangel Uriel is coming back again for this week. So Uriel is the angel of forgiveness. He is the angel that assists us with balancing our emotions. So Uriel, I associate with the color yellow. And Uriel comes into our lives when we are on that emotional tsunami wave. You know, when we get overwhelmed, or we get confused, or we get activated or triggered. Uriel is the angel that he's the keeper of the inner light, right? He ignites the light within. This is why you usually see him depicted with a lantern. And so maybe some of you this week, excuse me, maybe some of you this week might be experiencing that emotional tsunami, which could be releasing energy, bringing things to surface so that things can shift out of your life. Remember, this is a 5-year in numerology. 5 is about transition and change, and being aware of the patterns and cycles and making minor adjustments through it. So this is a time of year that people may tend to slump. They're, especially here in New England, when the weather gets colder, right before retrogrades, the energy of depression can kick in, right? Feeling very tired, feeling cabin fever. And it can be a cycle that we repeat every single year. So for me, the end of December is that for me. So this year I was proactive in making adjustments to ensure myself being energetically abundant through December into January, which required a level of extra nourishment, extra kindness, extra support, and nourishing foods, and lots of water, and lots of meditation and prayer and connecting with the divine. So if you know that you're in these cycles, you can ask Uriel to assist you with that emotional roller coaster. I usually see him, it's like he'll pluck you off of that tsunami wave, and he'll plop you gently on a catamaran in the Caribbean. Obviously not literally, maybe literally, and that's a beautiful thing for you if you get that. But if you can energetically imagine yourself on a catamaran in a Caribbean, you've got the boat underneath you, you've got the sunshine on your face, and the waves are a little more softer. They're not those extreme highs and lows. They're kind of stretched out more so. So from that place, when we're feeling comfortable, when we're feeling safe, when we're feeling open and receptive, will receive guidance on how to problem solve, how to move forward, how to soothe, on what we need. And that's why I feel like the card says, you know what to do. It's the ego, it's the programs, it's the emotional roller coaster that can spiral, right? And then what happens is then we impulsively, unconsciously go external to people, places, things, and ideas to fix us, save us, change us, and make us better, right? Remember, Earth Angels have a really big mission on this planet. We are the activators of love on the planet, and it has to be self-love first. So if you have children, or you have a pet, or you have somebody in your life that you absolutely love dearly, where like you'd give them anything that they needed. I mean, there are people in your life that I'm sure you would give them your kidney, or you'd give them part of your liver because you love them so much. You wouldn't even think anything about it. For me, it's my dog, right? If he needs that $50 bottle of CBD oil or that $20 bag of food, guess what? I'm not even going to think about it, and he gets it. And the universe is also supportive in that because it's coming from an energy of love. So we have to remember that our physical body, our mental body, our emotional body, and our spiritual body needs to receive that level of love from us, ourselves. Your power, Earth Angels, is in your physical body. Your ability to be intuitively, like the radars or the satellites need to be intuitively open, meaning your pineal gland, your pituitary gland, or your master glands need to be clear. Your heart chakra needs to be in that vibration of love. Now, it's unrealistic to say that it can be all the time, but you can set yourself up for success making adjustments, right? Really pushing out those addictive tendencies to numb out in whichever way that we do it. Now, I've been working on that personally myself so that I can teach it. So I can say, okay, this is what worked for me. This is how I broke this habit. This is how I moved through this experience. And that's all coming probably in a year from now, because that's kind of how it works. But know that you're not alone if you're really trying to evolve, if you're really working towards growing, and Uriel can assist you with this. So you may be in that space where you're like, I don't know what to do and what's next. And, you know, many of you have businesses that it's been challenging. You're having to navigate the system in a totally different way. And obviously with finances and, clientele and, all those things that your business thrives on, it needs to be adjusted. We need to find other ways, right, to access growth. And the only way you can do that is by building a relationship with Source. Building a relationship, because I'm telling you, friends, when you have a call of the heart, when you've been called, when your purpose, those feelings that are inside of you, when you have that inspirational pull, there is absolutely nothing that can stand in the way, including a global pandemic, right? And so when that happens, though, we have to clear out our ego stuff, the limitations. So you have to remember, this experience you're on is a journey for years and years and years and years. And it can be a beautiful experience, or it can be a nightmare. Either way, you're going to get there. So I really try to choose adventure, play, laughter, fun, and freedom. I declared that in 2017 when we were moving into the next 9-year cycle. I said, I want to move through life with, I want to experience life through adventure, play, laughter, fun, and freedom, right? And so that's what I'm conscious of, and it's been a journey of those experiences. I mean, no, it's not that, I've experienced the latter in any way, but of course I have, but I'm aware of the feelings in my physical body and what to do to go to adjust that, or to nurture myself and soothe. And these are the theme words this year that I'm seeing is receiving, right? We can't be overgivers, oversharers, overdoers, because it's just going to make us depleted and resentful, and you're going to continue to create lack from lack, right? Or barely getting by. So receiving is imperative. Rest is imperative. Nurturing, learning how to nurture your soul are all things that can move you along in a healthier way. And so call on Uriel if you're feeling that light being dim, and he can ignite that light within if you're feeling energetically depleted, right? We are going into the Mercury retrograde season. We finally have all the planets direct, right? And boom, here comes Mercury retrograde, the wild child of the system, right? So, which you never know what the wild child's gonna do. Now, I personally identify with the wild child. So, that rebellious, spirited, I'm gonna go my own way vibration. So, when we can just not contain, but open and hold space for that vibration, that there might be some surprises. There's incredible things happening in the astrology, right? So there may be some surprises, some unexpected things, right? And it's how we're able to pay attention to how we're feeling, to soothe. I am safe. I am protected. I'm nurtured. Remember, you've worked so hard on setting yourself up for success that you can move through these things. And that's where this year of the 5 is about taking action, how to move forward with this new knowledge and wisdom. And Uriel is reminding you that you already know what to do. You already have the skills. You already have the talents. You already have the calling within you. And if anyone's telling you otherwise, this is where we need to redirect our energy. All right, so that was a long introduction. So as, just to reiterate, Archangel Uriel's color is yellow. If you start to see lanterns, lamps, if you have flickering lights or lights blowing out, those are all signs that Uriel is around and wanting to assist you in igniting your light. Because remember, when you feel good, when you're energetically abundant and you're feeling nourished and you're feeling stable and secure and safe, when you feel good, the people around you feel good. And when they feel good, the people around them feel good. And when they feel good, the people around them feel good. So really, truly, peace on earth starts within. So I'm going to ask Uriel, okay, so sometimes we're like, but I really don't know what to do. And what can I do to help myself move along? I'm going to ask Archangel Uriel, what can be surrendered this week to escalate your spiritual growth, your spiritual journey in a healthy way? Wow. Okay, so that was too many, but I will take those 2 that fell out. So the first card we have, surrender your desire to control people. When I think about this serpent energy and I think about the ego and the low vibration, it says being over controlling can sabotage relationships. To more effectively achieve your goals, back off, regroup, and give the situation some breathing room. So let me see. Remember, friends, the sleeper worlds or the unconscious. And remember, this doesn't mean that's better or worse, good or bad, positive or negative. It is those that haven't awakened yet to the spiritual journey. We've all been there and you've gone through it, which is why you're here, why you've awakened, because you've gone through that. I call it the sleeper world, the world of the unconscious. Or unaware, let's say. And that can be a very happy place for a lot of people. And sometimes I, am envious of it. But then when I think about my journey and all that I've gotten to experience, I wouldn't have it any other way. So the worlds can collide this week, right? So here's the thing. People who are pushing up, people who are rubbing up, on your space, on your boundaries, on your energy, right? They're kind of rubbing you the wrong way. When you can pull back and ask yourself, okay, what are my needs in this situation? Now, obviously, we can't control what other people do, but you can transform the energy by becoming more aware on what's important to you, what your needs are, what feels good to you. And so this is also too within yourself. As I was reading this, I'm like, this is not necessarily with external people. With Earth Angels, this could be you trying to control a situation or trying to control your feelings and emotions and the experiences that you're having. And that inner child can act up with overwhelm and confusion, wanting to write, like that kind of fight or flight energy. So I'm really drawn to the serpent here and the trickery of what's reality, what's truth, and what's influence, what's programs of old beliefs, old ways of doing things. So some of you this week might be encouraged to take a time out, like eject, maybe from social media, maybe from TV, maybe from people, and just recharging your batteries. So if you're feeling like you're getting consumed by this, right? Maybe there's decisions being made. Maybe there's things that are going on where you're just like, I'm overwhelmed, I'm confused, I'm scared, I'm angry, right? If you can pull back and ask your guides, ask Uriel, what am I learning from this? What do I need to know about my boundaries? Right? And this is one of the things with Earth Angels, is because of our upbringing, because of the parents that we chose, right? Remember, I say that specifically, we chose the people who we were going to be born into, from, and we chose our parents. Now, this isn't to shame or blame, but this is for us. It's an opportunity for us to learn. And typically those experiences are our shadow teachers. They're soulmates, part of our soul clusters, for us to be squeezed, to learn, to grow and evolve, until we realize we don't need to be squeezed to learn, to evolve. It can be fun, and it can be adventure, play, laughter, fun, and freedom. I think that's the message, if I recall, that came out last week, is the divine, with the conch shell. And thank you so much for sharing that shell afterwards. Probably 5 minutes after I stopped the recording, I remembered what it was, and I was like, oh, that's right. And then I forgot about it. So thank you for those of you who posted it in the comments, and it was very supportive, so I appreciate that. But if you're aware of the inner bully or the militant masculine, right, and that part that wants to control you, do more, say more, be more, how do I grow? How do I expand? What do I have to do? The action. There might be a part of you that's like, we're done. We need a break. So listening to that, sometimes when you just if you're in that space where you're spinning the plate, sometimes when you let the plates fall, you see which ones break and which ones don't, and then you're not expending all that energy anymore. So some of you, I feel like, might be spread thin. Some of you may have unassumingly, unknowingly taken on too much, and that might be something that you can look at this week and saying, okay, where can I take the plates off the stick and stop trying to spin all these responsibilities, all these activities, all in juggling, right? Let's get back to basics. That was a theme last week, and I think it's going to carry through. Simplify, 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 and allowing people and experiences to, be where they're at, and being able to separate that from, and being able to say, I understand where they're coming from. I understand what's going on, and is a beautiful word. I don't have to go there, and I can pull the eject button. Now, this doesn't mean to start telling people they could stay or go. That's not what I'm saying. All you have to do is be okay with whatever happens next and call on the divine for assistance, right? Leave room for the Holy Spirit and saying, okay, I am open to how these relationships can transform, whether they're, remember, the more energetically abundant and joyful you are, the less that energy has space to come in. And it's just awareness, right? It's not for us to blame ourselves and saying, oh God, I'm never going to get this. And oh, I did it again. That's not what it's about. It's just a navigator showing you that, maybe you need to take a time out and work on your energy and what is depleting my energy and what am I listening to? Is it my own inner thoughts and my own worries and fears? So just a little bit of inquiry. And this is why I believe stillness and pause and quiet and rest is so valuable, right? Because that's when the inner voice can speak. So the second card that came out is surrender and denial. Wow, look at blindfolded. So again, this is part of where are we playing a role in the energy that keeps getting recreated in our life? Uriel is telling you, you know what to do, right? And sometimes it's the ego, right? The serpent energy, the ego doesn't want to look at, how maybe I'm contributing to this in some way. Now, I used to be surrounded by a lot of negative people and it was just so uncomfortable. I'm like, clearly there's something in my vibration. Clearly there's something I'm doing because I'm the common denominator. When you're conscious of these patterns, and then also when you're teachable, right? When you're out of that stage of arrogant ignorance, right? I know, I don't need anyone to tell me. We all go through it. It's a stage. It's kind of what the 13 to 18-year-olds go through, and we can get stuck there as adults too. But when we are seeing these patterns and saying, I'm the common denominator, and I keep seeing, what is this? Now, I learned last year being with myself for an abundance of time, wow, I got some negative thoughts in there. I got some fears in there I got to work on. Wow, what a downer that thought was, or wow, what my grandma calls it, the doldrums or the tale of woe, right? And I'm thinking, whoa. And I'm like, okay, now I can shift this. I'm aware of it. I'm open, divine, show me how I can shift this. There's no coincidence that both these cards here are yellow, right? Yellow is connected to the solar plexus. And I feel like this is about power. We're talking about empowerment, right? Feeling energetically abundant and powerful through Creator inside and out. So let me see here. Let me read the card here before I go on anymore. So again, maybe this week you'll see where you've been blindfolding yourself, what you don't want to see, right? And what we don't necessarily want to take ownership for, because, once you know, you can't not know. And that's where change needs to happen. And the ego part of us isn't always ready to start taking the actions. So accept people and situations exactly as they are without denying the difficulties. You then can see things clearly and make the best decisions. So it feels like a power struggle. Maybe it's a power struggle and tug of war within, or it is externally in what you're viewing in the world, which really is, friends, a reflection of what's going on inside. So if you can pull out from the external, the 3D world, needing to fix and change, save and change people, places, things, and ideas, when you can pull back and saying, okay, how can I shift myself? How can I make a difference? So for me, when I noticed that Debbie Downer thinking, when I noticed that, and it happens, I'm genuinely positive when I'm working with clients and I can see things so easily and I'm encouraging and I understand the spiritual journey, but I'm still human and I'm still challenged with human blindness, right? So when I noticed it, and this is that part of being always evolving, always learning from the self, and it comes from a place of self-love. So when we're looking at these things, you can say, okay, Creator, okay, God, show me how to move through this. Show me what I need to know about it. I've been really struggling with the spiritual community lately, and I haven't wanted to talk about it because it's there's nothing to really talk about yet. And I'm kind of, things are happening behind the scenes and I'm getting answers. And so, I kind of have been pulling back from these burdens that have been on my mind and asking God, saying, God, show me what I need to know about this. What is this? I'm recognizing this. I'm seeing this, but I don't know. I don't have the wisdom. I don't have the answers. I know there's got to be something to it. And of course, I'll watch a YouTube video from a pastor. I'll read a book, or I'll have, a mentor session with my mentor. And I'm just like, son of a gun, there's the answers. But I have to recognize it. And then I have to ask the divine, or it would be beneficial for me to ask the divine and then leave space to be open to receiving an answer. And that requires time. So if you're feeling prickly, if you're feeling ornery, if you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling out of control, right, which then will definitely want to control our environment and the people that are around us, and then you'll attract more controlling people. But if you can just ask the divine, or sit in stillness and saying, show me where the adjustments need to be. Show me what I need to know about this situation. Taking a deep breath. Imagine yourself relaxing, breathing, softening, and opening. This is the nitty-gritty here, friends. This is the spiritual evolution. This is the journey. This is the work that you're going to teach in the future. So again, this blue reminds me of the throat chakra and communication. This yellow is solar plexus energy. So if you're working with the chakras, those two chakras could be beneficial for you to focus on and cleanse this week. All right, so I'm going to ask Archangel Uriel, what, this is kind of like angel therapy. Like, okay, we got this. We understand it. Tell us the truth. What can we do about this? What can we do about this? Where can we focus our energy? Ooh, learning. Oh, this is fantastic. Workshops and seminars. It says attending and giving speeches is part of your spiritual path and purpose. Be open to teaching and learning. All right, so here it is. One of my struggles is experiencing in the spiritual community. How do I say it? Okay, thank you, Spirit. So here's the thing. There's a lot of people, and this isn't anybody on this channel, because people who are in this energy are not in a space of learning. They're not in a space of openness. So I'm sharing this with you, and maybe you'll see it in your world as well. Because earth angels, like I said, can be challenged with self-esteem, worth, and value, and really putting ourselves out there in an intuitive way, right? Okay, so when I was asking the divine, how should I explain this? Have you ever had this experience where, I forget what teacher, this was when I was younger, probably in high school, and the teacher was trying to explain how when information gets passed along, information gets lost. So the imagery that I got is that if I was to tell you something that really touched your heart, that really inspired, and I told you the story, let's say, and then there was a line of people, and then you turned around and you told the person behind you what I told you. And then that person turned around and told the person behind them the story, and so on and so forth. So let's say it goes down the line 10 times. What's going to happen? By the time it hits the 10th person and you say, okay, 10th person, share with us the story. Chances are it's going to be nothing like the original story. That's what I keep experiencing in the spiritual realm. Now, this is true for many different fields. So this isn't just like the spiritual community, like of healers, intuitives. It happens in many different fields, right? And so what happens is when we're not teachable, when we're in that serpent energy of I know, we can get stuck there and gravitate towards half the information or not all the details, right? And so what's happening is you're having a mass amount of people awaken spiritually. And they're supposed to be, I shouldn't say it like that. How should I say it? And what would be most beneficial is when they awaken to the intuitive guidance and the wisdom that's coming and the knowledge is to do their inner work, right? Inner child work, working with therapists and doing shadow work and learning and evolving, reading, growing. But then this ego gets activated and power takes over, right? There's so many words, but what I resonate is the power principles take over. I can tell you, I know, I will fix you, save you, change you, and make you better. It comes from a place of ignorance, right? And I don't mean that in a negative way. What you don't know, you don't know. And if the same information is being cycled around and everybody's sharing the same energy without connecting with source, without grounding and checking in and saying, okay, how do I feel about this? It just creates a melting pot of confusion. And then, like I said, and this is why it's so important to choose the people you work with, choose the influence, right? It's all influence, right? Choose, and be aware of the energy and how you're receiving it. And does it feel like it speaks to your heart? Truth bypasses your brain. Truth goes right by your mind, like slips by the ego like an invisible bandit and goes right into the heart. And then you're like, boom, I'm inspired by it. Yes, this is truth. Now, this doesn't mean that those people that you're inspired by means that you have to be with them, learn from them, and grow with them for the rest of your life. A lot of times people outgrow their teachers, their healers, their intuitives, right? And that's normal. That's okay. And that actually encourages the teacher, the mentors, the leaders to evolve and grow as well. And this is a healthy part of these spiritual kingdoms, let's say, outside of let's say the religious aspects, right? We, at some point, in religions, people outgrow it and they start asking questions and I want to know more. And this is what Jesus came to teach, right? There's more in the power and will of God. Go to God. And he encouraged and he inspired us to hear the word, right? But it requires a level of you to stop and pause and check in with what you're receiving. So this card, I knew it was going to come out in some way. And I do hope that was helpful for you to understand that people are well-meaning. Nobody's good, nobody's bad. But when the power principles take over, fear gets activated. And ego gets activated. And then there's arrogance in the ignorance, right? And this was taught to me by my masters, my teachers. God brings along people in my life. This was one of those burdens that have been on my mind the last year, and I've had to really ask, show me, what is this? I'm recognizing, I'm seeing it over and over again. I talk to people that I trust. Do you see this? What do you think? Or are you noticing this? And just problem solving and hashing it out. And then boom, the answer came up. I'm like, so that's a stage. That's stage one of development and growth, right? It's stage one, which is, let me get this correct, unconscious incompetence. And it's a stage of learning. It's a stage of growth. I believe that's a psychological term. So if there are therapists, watching and you have information about these stages, please feel free to share it on the bottom. This is a community of beautiful people that I think we can all share from. We're all growing, evolving, and learning. And so here's the thing is I feel like Uriel is saying, you know what to do. Empower yourself. And again, here's the same colors again, right? Throat chakra, the yellow of the solar plexus. Uriel is reminding you that you don't need anybody outside of you to tell you what to do. If somebody's saying to you, I can fix you, I can tell you what's wrong, I know, chances are it's coming from not 100% divine source. But it's an important experience for you to have because that's how you learn. That's why I say I'm not demonizing anybody. I'm not saying it's good or bad, but you're having a lot of information that's being circulated and being distorted. And you kind of have to weed out based on how you're feeling. I mean, there are certainly many teachers that I followed and, then I no longer resonated. And then I went back to like a year later and I resonated. So, I value your time. One of my most sacred treasures is time. I love my time. I value my time. I appreciate your time. That's why I pray these are always spiritually nourishing and informative for you that you can learn and grow from. I try to keep them short, so not to consume a lot of your time. But we have to really be mindful of where our time is going, where the energy is. And Uriel is saying, I can lead you to the workshops and seminars and the books because you're teachable. You're open, but you delete that. It will require you to be open and receptive. God, show me what I need to know about this. Lead me. What's the saying? When the student is ready, the teacher will appear, right? You're all on this channel watching this in this moment in time or whenever you're watching it because you're ready for an experience. You're ready for the layers to be uncovered for now, for one reading or many of these readings. We're all on a journey and you get to choose, right? So we're in this spiritual warfare in a way of influence. And like I said, I mean, there's running a business isn't easy, friends. It's not easy. I know maybe I make it look easy. I have no idea, but it involves a million moving parts. And this is why when you're embarking on something because it's the call of the heart, you'll have everything you need, but it will require work. It will require patience. It will require you to be teachable and open and curious. And I always say I will be a forever student. I'm always learning. I'm literally reading 4 different books right now based on my biorhythms, based on my energy, based on where I'm at. I'm reading 4 different books. And that's what I'm doing with my time, right? And because of that, I can then teach and evolve and grow. So this is the work that I do for the future of my business, the future of myself and my clients, right? To be able to educate, to stay ahead. We need to kind of learn to be open of giving and receiving. So I'm so glad this came out. This is what you can do. If you're not sure, ask God. One of my agreements with the universe is if there's something I need to do, say, be, or have, tell me twice. And so passion, when I was like, I love that word, because really the other side of passion is satisfaction. And for a very long time, I kept feeling like I was missing something in my life. I'm missing something. I don't have this. I don't have that. I'm miserable. I'm unhappy. I'm missing. So last year was my year to learn about satisfaction. And be sad. Well, actually being a whole and complete person. To work on masculine, feminine energies, to feel whole and complete with myself and fully accept the space that I'm in. And feeling worthy and deserving in that space. So now I move into 2021 as a satisfied person. I'm satiated. The divine fills me up. I'm no longer hungry all the time, right? Because I feel like I'm missing something. And from that space of lack, it just energizes you to do more and more and more and more and many things. And this is that part of maybe some of you are spread too thin, right? Maybe some of you've got to look at what you got going on, and are you willing and open to change and releasing some things? The ego is going to want to hold on to everything, to dear life. But we need to kind of listen to the pathway that we're on, remembering that it's a journey. It doesn't mean it has to be forever. It's just right now. So when that word passion came up, I'm like, yes. And then I have these Native Americans cards that I use that are personal to me. I don't know if I'll share them, but ever on the channel, but they're my personal like friend. And the last new moon reading I did, the satisfaction and passion came up. I'm like, well, there it is. That is 3 times I saw the word passion. And then satisfaction came with it, which was the missing link. I'm like, link, that's what it is. When I'm satisfied, when I'm feeling satiated, when I am filled up energetically, I experience passion on all levels. Maybe you can feel it. Maybe you're experiencing it through the energy. It's not fake. It's organic, passionate, loving energy. But that requires work. It requires self-reflection. It requires a deep level of acceptance and self-love, which all of you are working towards. So, and I didn't get there by not being open to learning. All right, so see. What message of healing? What crystal can be most beneficial as you continue your healing? What crystal can support you in your healing? That's good. I like that. What crystal can support you, which is connected to Mother Earth? Amber. Give it to God. Yes. So if you're in that place, I don't know what to do, right? It says trust your inner knowledge and act upon it without delay. If you're in that space where I really don't know what to do, give it to God. And look at this, another yellow card. I mean, I just want to show you, like, they're not all yellow, right? There's lots of purple in here. And then even with this deck, well, they're all yellow. That's a bad example. But they're all different colors, and this deck, look, they're all different colors. So I just want to, like I said, validate the experience of how all these cards are coming together. What is it? 3 out of 4. So this card says, take a deep breath, and on the exhale, release this situation to God for healing and answers. And this isn't something we can prepare for. I'm planting a seed now, right? So let me say it again. Give it to God. When you're activated, when something scary comes up, when there's something, maybe it's connected to money, maybe it's connected to health or your job, right? These are the activators of the 3D world that can really get us going and revved up. It says, take a deep breath. In those moments when you feel the hot, right? When you feel for me, it's like this tingle that goes from the bottom of my spine all the way up my spine to my neck. And then it goes right into my head and I get super hot. That's how I know I'm being activated. And I need to take a deep breath. And on the exhale, release the situation to God for healing and answers, right? So show me, God. I'm ready and open. Uriel will light up the way for you. But that will require you to be present, right? That will require you to be aware of the repetitive things that are going around. You know, the ego has a certain way of getting us caught up in our mind, right? Our mental mind, and trying to problem solve and analyze. And if we can remember and ground ourselves, right, and root ourselves, this is why spiritual disciplines and a daily practice of some form is so important. And you can't do it. You can't do the daily practice to get peace or to get like, okay, I did my daily practice, so I'm dialed in. It has to be the call of the heart. It has to feel nourishing. That's why you can be open to many different things. Maybe sometimes it's a walk. Maybe sometimes it's reading a book. Maybe sometimes it's like a daily affirmation or a daily prayer in some way. But there needs to be something consistent. Maybe it's just breath work. For me, I say the easiest thing is 5 minutes of stillness. I've actually been working with many clients who have been showing up in their car, which I think is amazing because, going outside, like if you have a noisy house or, the energy is just really busy, just going and sitting in the garage in your car or going outside and, the cold air is good for you, right? It revs up the system, right? That's that Wim Hof method, right? With the ice cold showers and the ice cold buckets, right? So, if it's cold, that can revitalize your system, getting some deep breaths and going and sitting and listening to the stillness and the quiet for 5 minutes. That's a beautiful, beautiful reset. But it will require you to get a coat on, go outside in your jammies or your slippers or whatever you got to do. And I just think it's so amazing how my clients are showing up in their cars, right? They're finding a way to receive. They're finding a way to learn, evolve, and grow because they're putting themselves first, even if it's for that hour, which I think is such a beautifully amazing thing. And they're mostly women, and I just think women are so crafty. Like they're so good at figuring it out and multitasking and I just feel like, well, men and women are just amazing. And I'm just so proud of the EarthAngel community and how you're evolving and growing and getting crafty and you're so smart and wise. And, it's just such a beautiful thing for me to be part of that. So thank you. So give it to God. Let's finish here. Let's finish. It's a little longer than usual. I feel like there's a lot of information in this reading, but I'm glad it came out. This will support us for the rest of the year as we're moving forward. So here we go. So it's like elephant energy. It reminds me of Ganesha, the remover of obstacles. So I'm going to ask Uriel, what prayer can carry you through the week to support you? Oh, that was easy. Oh, I love it. Courage. Which again, here's the blue, here's the yellow, but we have green, right? Green is heart chakra. So courage. Courage is fear. Courage starts with fear. And courage is moving through the fear anyway. So fear is going to be there. It's always going to be there. And when you can recognize it, you can say, okay, I got this. Soothe yourself, give yourself that breath and saying, okay, divine, show me how to move forward through this. So the card says, divine courage is not the absence of fear, but a nudge that says, keep going. Do it. Don't worry. All will be well. You have to get quiet enough to hear it. Dear divine, may I feel your courage and your will. Oh man, and there's the sirens. I hope you heard that. Just as I said that, Archangel Michael, right? I mean, you can't make this stuff up. I mean, it's just so beautiful how the universe always has our backs, right? And this is the fun part. This is the adventure part that I'm talking about. It just makes me giggle and laugh. I really hope you heard that because it was like a horn that just went right across the road as I said that. So here's the thing. If you got this stormy energy, emotional energy that's coming up this week, it's showing you where the work needs to be done. It's showing you where to go next. It's showing you what to do and how to learn. Remember, this is a daily, lifelong, and lifetime experience. It's not about the end result. It's not about what we're going to get and the finish. It's about everything we're learning in the present moment. So again, keep going. Do it. Don't worry, and all will be well. So the prayer, dear divine, May I feel your courage and your will. Your will. Remember, the will is the power. The will is God, right? If you think about the Trinity, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. The Trinity. God is the power, the Son is the love, and the Holy Spirit is the wisdom, right? Is yellow. So if you're into color, it's blue, pink, and yellow. Wisdom is yellow, love is pink, and the power is this blue color. So there's no coincidence that the will of God came up. It's the motivation, it's the movement, it's the action, right? So it's no coincidence that this all came through in the color, in the messages, in the experience. We got to look at the reality of things, right? We have to see how we're the common denominator and what we're learning from these experiences, but in a compassionate, loving place of curiosity. It's those little kids, those inquisitive little kids that's saying, why, mommy, why, daddy, why does it have to be that way, right? That's the inner child. And this is where we can say to God, why, God, show me, why does this keep happening? Why am I going through this? But we have to create some space to pause and listen. That doesn't mean your answer is going to come right away in that space, but when you are pausing and creating stillness to just listen, even if there's distraction, even if there's noise, let that be part of your experience. You're creating an opportunity of awareness in the present moment. So when divine signs do come and divine wisdom does come, you're experiencing it in the moment. You're present and aware, and you can heed that guidance. If we're too far in the future on how, whens, what ifs, if we're too far in the past on shoulda, coulda, wouldas, we're going to miss all the divine experiences in the present moment. Beautiful. So let me close space. Let me thank all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, the divine mother and father, and all their holy beings of light that assisted with this guidance for you today. And I'm going to ask that any healing that was started continue for as long as it needs to be done. And so it is. And those are your messages for this week, my friends. Again, I thank you for your time. If I can support you in any way, the booking information is in the description box below, along with the cards that I'm using. Like I said, if you're enjoying these messages, if there's anything that you want to know more about, please leave me a message in the description box. In the comments below, or you can send me a private message. My email is in the my email is also in the description box. So maybe there's something you want to learn. It kind of helps me know what you're interested in. Again, my time is just as valuable, right? So I just want to make sure that we're like the angels and I are supporting you in the best possible way. So thank you so much for watching. I love you. God loves you so much. Trust in the divine, trust your intuition, and I send you love with heavenly hugs. Bye for now.